It is often assumed that as a company's workload increases, it must hire more managers. Yet organizations frequently add new layers of management even when the total amount of work remains the same. This happens because the system is not designed simply to manage work, but to solve a much more fundamental organizational problem: the need for control.
Many have observed this pattern. An organization that was once flat eventually adds new titles, such as senior managers, directors, and vice presidents. The reporting lines multiply, and the distance from the front line to senior leadership increases.
This raises a key question. If the goal is simply to accomplish work, adding layers can appear inefficient. To understand why this occurs, it is necessary to look beyond workflow and into the fundamental design of the modern organization.
The management hierarchy common today was not created just to oversee tasks. Its primary purpose was to establish a system of rational control. Early in the industrial era, large organizations faced challenges with favoritism and inconsistent leadership. Authority was often based on social status, not ability. The management hierarchy was an innovation intended to address this by creating a logical and predictable structure. The foundational blueprint for this system was described by sociologist Max Weber, who termed it bureaucracy. In its original sense, bureaucracy represented an ideal, an organization run by qualified individuals operating under clear and consistent rules. These characteristics are foundational to many modern companies. Weber outlined 6 core principles: a clear hierarchy, specialized jobs, selection based on competence, management as a formal career, documented rules, and the impersonal application of those rules. This forms the essential framework of most large organizations today. This structure was designed to produce predictability. By making authority rational and processes consistent, the system aimed to ensure stability and fairness on a large scale. This pursuit of control is central to understanding why layers accumulate. Given this foundational goal of control, it is important to understand how layers are mechanically added to the structure. The answer lies in a single, powerful concept. That concept is the span of control. It refers to the number of employees a manager directly supervises. This single variable heavily dictates the overall shape of an organization. An organization can have a narrow span of control where managers oversee few people, or a wide span where they oversee many. A narrow span allows for close supervision, but results in a tall organization with multiple layers. A wide span requires more employee autonomy and creates a flat organization with fewer layers. This illustrates the core mechanic. If an organization maintains a narrow span of control, for instance, no manager has more than 6 direct reports, then as the number of employees grows, the only way to maintain that ratio is to add more managers, which in turn creates more layers. This leads to a logical question. If narrow spans create tall hierarchies, why not simply widen the span? It is difficult because several organizational pressures push for narrower spans and closer supervision. These pressures are significant. When work is highly complex or roles are ambiguous, more management guidance is needed. Organizations also create new manager roles to provide visible career paths. Less experienced teams require more direct support, and in some cases, new layers are added to buffer teams from the demands of senior leadership. In addition to these structural pressures, a key human incentive can reinforce the growth of management layers. This is known as management entrenchment. Management entrenchment occurs when a manager makes their team, its processes, and its knowledge dependent on their specific involvement. This behavior can make them difficult to replace without causing significant disruption. This academic definition illustrates the concept. A manager may favor projects or processes that they understand better than others do. This increases their value to the company and helps secure their position. This behavior can lead to the creation of complex, specialized silos that require a dedicated manager to oversee them. It reinforces the need for their role and can contribute to the justification for narrow spans and additional layers, independent of the organization's overall effectiveness. When these factors are combined, the system of hierarchical management produces a distinct set of trade-offs, a balance of intended benefits and unintended consequences. On one hand, the system delivers what it was designed for: predictability, clear career paths, and specialized expertise. On the other hand, these outcomes often come with consequences, such as slower decision-making, excessive rules, and less autonomy for employees.
This reveals the central tension. The very structures created to ensure control and stability can become rigid. In a rapidly changing market, this rigidity can be a significant disadvantage, making it difficult for the organization to adapt quickly.
The addition of management layers is not an accident, but a logical outcome of a system optimizing for specific goals. It prioritizes control, makes career progression clear, and ensures predictability. These are valuable outcomes, but they are often achieved at the expense of speed, flexibility, and operational agility.